Hey everyone, and welcome back. Before you watch this walkthrough, make sure that you pause the video and try the problem yourself. Even a partial attempt will make the explanation that much more useful. These videos are meant to support your problem-solving process, not replace it. Across a lot of my practice problems, I highlight different aspects of how to approach, break down, and reason through problems. So you're going to get the best benefit by watching multiple walkthroughs rather than treating any single one of my videos as a template that you can copy. With that, let's get started. Today's practice problem is the manual linked list chain. Manually create 3 linked node objects, storing integer data and printing their values in the order of adding them. So here in our input, we can see we're adding a 1 and then a 2 and then a 3. So our output should be 1, 2, 3. Before we write any code, any methods, I want to make sure that we understand what a linked list actually is. A linked list is a chain of nodes, very similarly to the fact that an array might be a chain of integers, with a few differences. Each node has to store 2 things. It has to store some data, as well as, and this is the part that's different from an array, a reference to the next node in the list. Unlike arrays, the elements are not stored next to each other in memory. So we can't just use math to figure out where the next element is in our array or in our list. We have to use these stored references to the next node. Each node only knows about the next one. Let's get started. Let's assume that we have this simple node class and it looks something like this. We have access to that int data. Normally we'd want these to be private, normally private, or stored within our linked list class, which I'll show in future videos. But for right now, we're going to keep them public for ease. We're also going to have a node next, and that's the part that usually throws people. Because remember, this node next object is just a reference. It's just a memory address to the next node. We also need our constructor public node that will take in our data, and most commonly we'll of course set our data like this.data equals data, and our next starts off as equal to null. It doesn't point to anything. Let's go back over to our main class and now manually build a chain of 3 nodes. I will start by creating our very first node. I'll name it literally first. And let's go ahead and give it the value 1 as we expect. In fact, we can go and do this now for all 3 of our nodes. Our second node we said would be 2, and our third node would be value 3. Each of these nodes holds a single value. The first holds value 1, the second value 2, and the third value 3. They also each contain a reference to the next node, which currently is null. Each one just is floating around in space, really. It's just all by itself. Right now, these 3 nodes are not connected at all. In order for us to actually chain them together, we need to assign those next references. So for example, what did we say the reference to first.next needs to be? Well, in our chain, we're supposed to go 1, 2, 3. So first.next needs to attach to second. And by that same logic, second.next needs to attach to third. Now we have a chain. First points to second, second points to third. This is a linked list. So now let's print these values out by traversing through them. Let's go ahead and make a method to do this. Print list. And we can just pass in first. First. There we go. I'll just get this method header up and then we'll talk about it. Print list, node head. Now remember, this is just like a ball of yarn with a bunch of beads on it. If we pass in the very first bead, it's connected to the next bead right there. And then the next bead is connected right there. So we really only need the reference to the first in order to gain access to the rest of them. Now, most of the time when we print out a list, we end up using, or print out a linked list, I should say, we end up with a temporary variable that we often call cur. So our current node, this is going to be our helper node that helps us walk through our linked list as we print it, will always start at our very first element. And while that current node is not null, meaning we're not at the end of our list yet, we can go ahead and print out that information. So we can print out our data and a blank space. Now, just like we would do I++ to move to the next place in an array, we need to move our current reference to the next node. We do this by saying cur is equal to cur.next. This will move from whatever our current node is, in this case, following that pointer all the way up first, to next, making it second, and so on and so forth. This loop will print the current node's data and then move to the next one. Eventually, once we hit that third node, we'll say third.next, we'll end up with cur equaling null, and that means we've reached the end of our linked list. This traversal pattern is fundamental to understanding all of our linked list algorithms. Let's give it a run and make sure it works as we expect. In classic Lauren fashion, I do have some spelling issues here, unsurprisingly. So let me just fix that right there. That should actually fix all of them. Oh, apparently it does not fix all of them. Oh, I never actually made node next. I thought I did. I don't know where that went. Okay. Now it should have them all fixed. Okay, and then we can go ahead and run our main, and we'll see that all three of those values did get printed out. I did a print instead of a print line, or I did a print line rather instead of a print. I intended to do a print with a print line at the end just to mimic what the original question asked us to do. That's it, and now we've solved this problem. Now remember, you won't find my solution posted alongside this video. If you watch the walkthrough without first attempting the problem, stop here, close my solution, and try to write it yourself now. Post-walkthrough practice still counts. If you have questions about this problem or suggestions for future practice videos, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.